I'm Desiree.
And I'm Jordan. And this is Captain Oso, the little dude.
7 years ago, we bought a super crappy, really small sailboat that we called Atticus with a dream of seeing the world.
We, for better or worse, own this boat now.
Over the next 7 years, we spent a lot of time fixing up Atticus.
I've got to be really careful not to just cut a hole in the bottom of the cockpit.
But we also did boat work for money in Mexico, traded lobster for rum in Cuba, dodged pirates off of Nicaragua, and lived off-grid in Panama during the pandemic.
It's better than I thought it would be, you know?
Through it all, we made a ton of mistakes and faced a lot of fear, doubt, and insecurity. It's okay, buddy. But we also learned that if we rely on each other and just don't give up, that we can accomplish more than we ever imagined.
Recently, we upgraded to our dream sailboat, Atticus 2, and are now working hard to transform her from a weekend cruiser to a long-distance offshore voyager.
We're now making our way up the coast of New England, on our way to Maine, where we hope to continue to outfit the boat and explore one of the country's most stunning cruising grounds. In our last episode, we had a great sail from Block Island to Martha's Vineyard, where Desiree's sister actually came aboard as crew, and where I perhaps had one too many beers on our first night out on the town.
All right, well, Martha's Vineyard.
Welcome to Martha's Vineyard.
Vineyard.
Hey, let's go get some lobster, all right? Can I get some lobster, Desiree?
I think you lost it.
I got it back, though.
Yeah.
I lost it again.
What's with the high pitchedness?
What are you talking about?
So my sister Gio and I are going to leave this guy behind to explore Martha's Vineyard because we've been having some issues with our computer. And Jordan has spent the last 3 days troubleshooting it.
It's been a huge nightmare, and I've taken it to a tech guy on the island, and we may have figured it out. I'll let you guys know. But long story short, I'm going to enjoy Martha's Vineyard from the comfort of the nav station.
Looks really comfortable.
Yeah,
you know?
It is. It's great.
Luxurious.
I got the little dude. Keeps my toes nice and warm. This is basically what I do when I'm editing.
Yeah.
I just scratch his stomach.
Yeah.
And edit videos,
That's
make
why he
magic
likes
happen.
Go in there.
Be comfy. Yeah, you want to look at me? Am I your favorite?
Yeah.
Am I your favorite? Oh, you got to stay laying down, buddy.
This part of town is locally referred to as the campground, and it's home to 318 super colorful, crazily designed small cottages known as gingerbread houses. The story behind these houses is that in 1835, a group of Methodists hosted a summer camp on this land with 10 tents, but it was such a hit that it quickly grew to over 300 tents in the coming years. Slowly, as more summer campers flocked to the island, they started to erect more permanent structures. It just so happens that around this time, the jigsaw was invented, and so ornate facades like these were all the rage, and in fact, it kind of became a competition among the campers to create the coolest house. The houses were built super close together with open doorways and balconies to encourage conversation and friendship in the spirit of the original tents. Currently, these elaborately colored and decorated houses are home to summer tourists and a few year-round residents.
Go eating it.
No.
Man, this place is so cool. I love all the porches on the front, you know? Makes you want a glass of wine and some cheese.
Oh, I was going to say like sweet tea.
Oh, yeah.
A glass of ice cold sweet tea with a lemon like on the rim.
Ooh, that does sound good, actually. For thousands of years, Martha's Vineyard was home to the Native American tribe called the Wampanoag. Then, in 1642, the first European settlers colonized Edgartown. During the whaling era, Edgartown served as a home port for many whaling expeditions, and it also became a popular destination for wealthy sea captains to build huge homes from the spoils of their trade. Currently, Martha's Vineyard is one of the most popular summer resort islands in the United States, attracting 200,000 inhabitants in the summer and dwindling down to a population of 15,000 in the winter.
In 1974, Martha's Vineyard became particularly renowned for several deadly shark attacks that occurred in the waters surrounding the island. The bloody attacks continued until finally the sheriff, along with a wealthy marine biologist and a crazy old fisherman, were able to kill the shark by blowing up his head using a dive tank and a rifle.
Fire, you son of a...
They were then forced to swim back to...
That's a movie. It's not real life. Sharks are actually really awesome creatures that we shouldn't blow up.
This is all like a fictional movie. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry guys. That was the plot to the movie Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg, and it was filmed and took place in Martha's Vineyard.
Okay. Da-da. Da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So you want to go for a swim? Kick those little feet real hard. Current's real strong, so just swim towards the shore. Watching.
Little dude loves Martha's Vineyard.
Yes, he does.
Doesn't he?
Yes, I love it.
He actually loves Giovanna more.
Yeah.
Who's your best friend?
Look at him.
Yeah.
But
You can't have any.
So tonight we're getting ready to go to I guess famous oyster bar that our friends Brian and Chrissy told us to go to. Well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
To Martha's Vineyard.
did you just learn, bud?
He was saying that the salt content is low on these, but the minerality level is high.
Isn't that what you need to have to be able to use the Force in Star Wars? Maybe this will let me use the Force.
Yeah. And the actual body is a big oyster.
Yeah. This oyster bar is really cool to try 19 different species of oysters that are grown locally.
So it's not attached, it seems like.
Yeah, I just slurp it. I don't even use my fork.
Okay, here we go.
See, you're pushing away, buddy. Gotta be more subtle.
I mean, no one's fighting on other things. But the color art is a nice one.
That minerality, though. Yeah.
What do you think, bud?
Really good.
Okay, what do you think, bud? What's the weather look like?
Yeah, so, well, first of all, the marina that we're at here, we're losing our slip today. And so we have to get a move on today. We're either going to sail all the way to Maine starting this morning, or we're going to try to just find an anchorage and wait for a better window. The only problem is we have to go through Buzzards Bay. And Buzzards Bay is kind of this notorious bay that has a funnel shape to it that can compress the wind. So say you've got 20 knots of wind in the general area, well, you could have mid-20s to high 20 knot winds within the bay. And then because the bay is shallow and it kind of goes from deep water to shallow water, the chop and waves that the wind creates, they start to get taller and steeper because they get into shallower water. And in particular, what concerns me about that is getting into the Cape Cod Canal with huge chop, right? So it's not just the fact that it could be uncomfortable. It's the fact that, I don't know, maybe it would be difficult to steer in. Today, Buzzards Bay is going to have really strong winds. But if we could get through without a problem, then we would have good wind to sail by throughout the night and into the morning when we get to Maine. The other option is for us to leave tomorrow, in which case Buzzards Bay is going to be real calm tomorrow, so that part of it, there'd be no danger, but we wouldn't have much wind, and so we would end up motor sailing a good portion of the trip. What do you think, Bud? What are you tending towards?
I'm thinking we've kind of been pushing it for the last 2 days, getting this episode uploaded, and I like the idea of having light winds, and then like maybe we'll get to actually sail, like maybe something will happen, there'll be an anomaly and we'll get to sail, versus going out there and we'll definitely be sailing, but maybe the anomaly will be like something crazy, and we'll just be exhausted and pushing the boat and pushing ourselves.
Well, I'm gonna keep digging and I'll let you know what I kind of come up with.
Okay, well, I'll just continue getting the boat ready. I'll stow everything just in case we do leave today, fill up the water, and Oso will just continue sleeping away in Giovanna's room. Yeah, you lazy bum. What are you doing? How are you contributing? Okay, it's kind of a chaotic morning. We decided to actually try to sail to Maine today, so everything's a little bit crazy. And what did you just find, Bud?
Well, the belt on the engine is a little loose. I noticed a lot of belt dust, and I don't know what that's about, so I'm gonna try to fix that quickly. The little dude's trying to help out. He's like, I can help. Yeah, I think that's good. I actually think that there's a good chance that it's not belt dust, that it's actually dust from this insulation that's just real old.
Oh.
So this is what I opened the engine to look at in the first place, just check the sea strainer. And it always feels good when there's actually some stuff in it, because otherwise I'm like, why did I waste my time?
You ready for your first passage, Lethal?
Yeah. It's a little stressful in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's probably me. I basically always make it stressful.
Okay, bud, so where are we going?
Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure that out. We're behind schedule, which is normally not a big deal, but with today, it's kind of a big deal because we've got to time the currents just right, going through both Woods Hole Passage as well as the Cape Cod Canal, because the currents get super dangerously strong in those areas, so you need to go at just the right time. So the obvious reason that we need to be careful with strong currents like this is if we have enough current going against us, then we won't hardly be able to make any progress forward, even with the engine at full throttle. But the other thing to be concerned with here is just our ability to steer properly in order to avoid a lot of the dangers in these areas. Because as these strong currents interact with the rocks and shallows, they can often cause eddies or swirls in the water, which can cause your boat to turn unpredictably, making avoiding these rocks and hazards that much more difficult.
My vote is to anchor out and go when it's a little bit calmer. What do you think, Lidl?
I don't know, you guys tell me.
Giovanna's like, bring it on!
Yeah, I'm up for anything, but
Do you feel any seasickness yet?
I don't think so.
That's good. Man, you'd be the perfect crew. We need to switch. I feel bad for Jordan. Giovanna does really well in high-stress situations. She's great with like any kind of medical situation. She keeps her cool. She's really good with procedures. Takes directions super well. I, on the other hand, get a little defensive. I get seasick. I kind of panic in emergencies.
Yeah, I don't think we should try it because we're too late.
Yeah.
It's not safe to push too variable.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's turn left.
Nice and wet there, Captain.
Well, now I'm mostly just salty.
Yeah. does not look good.
There's a knot, so I'm gonna take it apart. Can you give me some slack? Okay, try it now.
So we just dropped the hook, and Oso is having so much fun on deck. He's just running around like a crazy little man. You happy?
Furball.
Yeah, you happy? Well, we didn't get started on our passage today, but that means we have a really delicious lunch with minimal effort. Well, for me, Giovanna cooked everything. Looks delicious. What do we have, Lethal?
Yeah. So we have pork tenderloin with a salad with like goat cheese, walnuts, cucumbers, tomatoes, quinoa on top.
Looks delicious.
Gio, we have a permanent position available if you're interested.
This would have been an amazing underway meal. Probably the best underway meal we would have ever had.
Well, when we first started and it was very choppy, I was thinking like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have wanted to cook.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad now the boat's ready. You know, we have a day to relax.
It's gonna be a much less frantic departure.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
It's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be freezing. Oso! Where'd he go? What is he doing? What is going on?
Hey, buddy.
Is it cold? Is it freezing?
It's cold, but not like painful.
Oh.
Everybody's here.
Oh my goodness.
So you excited about the passage today, guys?
Yeah, it looks like a much calmer day.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy with how much wind there is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 10:30 right now. We're gonna get the anchor up so that we have plenty of time to make it to Woods Hole by slack water, which is at 12:20. Are you ready, Gio? You got your sailor outfit on.
Ready.
You look very sailory.
Do I?
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There it goes.
Okay, you're good, Gio, so go ahead. Okay. And you're sailing, Gio. There you go. Good job.
That's a lot of work.
Okay, you guys ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. Take up the snacks. Don't pull hard yet. Good. Okay, Gio, let go. Yeah, keep going.
All the way
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, now you're good. Let it run free. Let go. You can just like let it run out.
Okay.
Okay, go this way.
Oh, do that flip. So I know this is the main line, main
Sheet.
sheet, and this is the Genoa.
Yep.
What are all these other lines?
Okay, so these are the 2 second reefing lines on the Maine, which we messed around with earlier. This is, I think, the slate salt sheet.
Yep.
Is that right? Then on this side, this is the main sheet. No? Reef.
Main
Starts with
course.
H. Starts with H.
halyard.
Higher, nice. I think we've killed enough time. I'm getting a little nervous. We'll furl the Genoa and reef the Maine. We'll put a double reef in the Maine. That way we have a sail up in case the engine dies at like the worst moment, but it won't be so much sail that it'll like affect us much.
Got it. So we've got 1 reef in the Maine, and we're just approaching the channel, heading through. Fingers crossed nothing crazy happens.
We're going in between those?
Yeah, I believe we're going in between those the red and the green right there.
Jeez.
That's why it's sketchy. There's rocks on either side. But as long as we go in through the correct buoys, then we're gonna be fine.
We're going through there?
Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah, so we're gonna let this sailboat pass us by, and then we should be able to shoot right into the channel.
Ugh, rocks everywhere.
Yeah.
Does not make me feel good.
The channel itself is super straightforward. It's just that on either side, there's all kinds of nasty stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and take up on the main, Geo.
Okay.
So even though we went to extreme lengths to make sure that we went through this pass at slack tide, one of the major challenges with Woods Hole is that slack tide doesn't exist for very much time. The current switches from a speed of 1 knot in one direction to going the opposite direction at 1 knot over the course of just 20 minutes. So the point is that we're probably going to experience a significant amount of current no matter how well we time our passage. So just as we made it to about the halfway point of the channel, a sailboat started entering from the other side of the channel heading towards us, but suddenly they went way out of their lane and started heading straight for a red marker on our side of the channel. I really want to avoid turning to port because that puts me in his lane, and it then becomes a little bit awkward knowing who should do what in order to avoid a collision. But I also can't turn to the right because I don't want to go outside of the channel because of all of the dangerous shallows in this area. Luckily, for whatever reason, it looks like they were able to get back onto their side of the channel and we were able to avoid a collision. But I feel like this is a perfect example of what makes this sort of a pass super dangerous, because if one thing goes wrong, the consequences can be huge. Now, I do want to express that this is the sort of thing that if you knew exactly what to do and you were familiar with Woods Hole and you've done it 100 times, it's probably no big deal and really, really easy. And we encounter this sort of situation all the time as cruisers. We're constantly in situations that feel very unique and very challenging to us, but real trivial for someone who does it all the time. Man, that got my heart going.
Yeah.
You know? Let's ease the main.
Okay. Easing the main.
That's good.
Man, you're getting good, little one.
Thanks.
What's Giovanna's score today?
Yeah, pretty good, given the fact that you've never sailed before, right?
Right.
Yeah, good.
We're gonna need a number.
95.
Good job, little.
Solid A.
Not a swab anymore.
I am glad to be leaving that behind us. It's cool to like go through such a famous and like infamous pass, but I'm glad we're on this side of it.
Are you glad we waited a day?
Yeah, I am glad we waited a day.
Me too.
Yesterday would have been a lot more stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out this week's episode. I wanted to give a huge thank you and big hug to Max and Avery, who showed us around Martha's Vineyard and were really sweet to us. And I also wanted to take a minute to thank some of our newest patrons. We are so grateful for your love, encouragement, and support, and without you guys, none of this would be possible. So thank you so much to our newest Yachtmaster level patrons, Wayne Powell and Andres Nestors. Moving on to our newest Deckhand level patrons, thank you so much, Will Harrison, Tina Morrison, Rob Tappan, Garrett Dolloway, Steve Ford, Mark Steven Thompson, and Joyce Parents and Michael Cox. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. It means the world to us. We'll catch you next week.